Hey everybody, it's the new moon, it's the new year. We're here, we made it. It's 2021 astrologically. This is the first new moon of the year in Aries. I just want to say thank you to everyone. This has been an amazing year. The support I've had from my fans and my friends and we're family. We're family. You're not fans. You're not commissioners. I'm not just your artist or your astrologer. We're family. We're connected. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for the connection. I learn so much about myself and life and astrology through every single one of your charts. And I'm so blessed and honored that you trust me with your stars. So, enough about me. Happy New Year to you. Let's get into this new moon. Guys, this is so exciting. Okay, so right now, it's not the new moon. When I'm recording this, it is currently on my Eastern Standard Time, 12:18 this Sunday, and it is the 11th. Okay, so my children are here, and in this recording, there will be multiple instances with my children, and I just want to say thank you to everyone, and this is a family business, so it's more important that they're here. Okay, so Happy New Year. What does it mean? What does the astrological New Year mean? Why is this so special? What's going on? The New Year, the January, Janus, Uranus. It's not energy of the beginning. It's the energy of the ingenuity of the coldest, darkest days. That's January. That's Saturn and Uranus energy and Aquarius energy, and that's what January is. And Capricorn, which is like getting yourself through it. And that's all great, but that's not a beginning of anything. Anyone will tell you that, anyone spiritual will tell you that the Earth's new year, like Mother Nature's new year, is in the spring. Like that's when everything grows. That's when the growth of the goddess has come through, and we can see it. Or, there's so many different things. I mean, even Christianity has Easter as a kind of kiss of like, yes, he was born here, but he rose here, because that's what spring is. It's rising, right? Like the reason Mars is so important in Aries season is because without that drive and the accuracy and the potential and the faith, the blind faith, and the courage, the seeds can't break through the shells and bloom. The insects can't rise from their shells and live. The grass can't turn green and accept the sunlight without that drive and that accuracy and that potential. That's Aries. That's Mars. That's why, like, a lot of Aries energy gets bad rep for being overtly aggressive or short-sighted. But when all the momentum is in the beginning of something and the ignition is not quite lit yet, just think of a cold stove. Just think of a cold stove. That's winter, and Pisces season is the house getting warmer, but the stove's still cold. It's the fire of Mars that gets that ignition going. Click. Mars is in Gemini this year. The nodes are in Gemini too. This is not an accident. This is a very important time for everyone to really take in the Seven Sisters. The Seven Sisters are in Gemini. And this is an excellent time to really take in doing things new ways, learning new things, being focused and direct and obsessed with the way that we understand, communicate, and connect. with others and share and play and be children ourselves, you know. Mars and Gemini makes me think of sports teams for children. When you see like little, I'm Canadian here, when little like the Tim Hortons hockey troops or soccer players, we call them Timbits, and like these kids, like it's just ridiculous how adorable seeing small children run around and be competitive and try to understand the rules. And it's not really about the rules, it's about the rush. And that's Aries energy. That's that childhood energy. And you also get that inquisitive nature and that fly by the seat of your pants and quick acceptance with the Gemini energy. So we are really learning quickly and moving forward this year in a very fast-paced way. I was going to do this for each of the signs, and I will tap into certain signs while I do this reading, but I'm doing this very intuitively because that's the only way I know how to read. I don't prepare myself too much, and I definitely do not look at other astrologers' preparations for, or their new moon stuff before I record. I won't even. I don't like getting influenced by that. Okay, so I'm going to push forward to the new moon. It's currently, it was currently 12:12 when I started this, but of course it was. And now we're going to move into the new moon. So what I'm going to do is I use astrotheme.com for this. You can use any app or ephemeris for this. So I'm going to go to the actual new moon timing. So let's just Google it together. When is the new moon exact? It's this easy, honestly. I encourage everyone to do this kind of stuff. So tonight at 10:32, it will be exact. So what I'm gonna do for Eastern Standard Time, because it's mentioning me, I believe. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my transit thing here because there's an option along the side, and I'm just gonna move it to 10:38, and then you'll see it. 38. I'm doing this in the recording so you guys can see just how quick and easy it is to pull these things up yourself. I really encourage all of my students and all of my clients to keep digging with their astrology and not just rely on me, because it's a self-discovery situation. Okay, so new moon. Nope, that's not it. Hold on, let's try again. New moon exact at 22 degrees. It'll be 25 seconds. Okay. We are looking at a Scorpio rising, so Mars again, but literally at the end of Scorpio, where Scorpio is meeting up with Sagittarius. This is a very important part of astrology in general. Vedically, if you were to look at the stars, this is where the scorpion's tail meets the arrow of Sagittarius. If you actually to look at the stars, that's not where the planets and things are being, but that's because tropical and sidereal is different. More on that, contact me. But anyways, the part that's being focused on, and theoretically, is that needle point, that accuracy between the depth of the transformative Scorpio to the height of the projected arrow. The exact position on this bullseye. Very important part. We are all getting exact this year. We're all getting that. Whatever you went through the Mars retrograde last summer in 2020, that rejection, a lot of people were, I personally, for me, it was about self-worth. I got sober this year after literally losing everything again, or almost losing everything again. I said that's enough and got sober and found my triggers and honored them. Not before I lost an amazing person who will forever be my brother and is my astrological twin, James Edwards. He passed away this summer of an overdose for the second time. The man died a second death of the same kind, self-induced by a broken heart, really. I mean, that's what addiction is. It's just a broken heart. To anyone that's fighting addiction out there, I want you to know that this is the year. This is the year. This is the year we transform. This is the year we get it right. This is the year we fly direct. You put a goal out there and you trust yourself. I promise you this world is going to change. It's supposed to. It is supposed to. Okay. Back to the chart. So again, it's Mars driven, but through Scorpio and with a touch of that Sagittarius fire, we really, which is exactly what Mars and Gemini feels like, is that Scorpio Sagittarius mix. Very competitive, very driven, very passionate. So much passion, so much fire, so much ability to transform and materialize. It's just great. Pluto will be in our second house. Gracious. Third house, second house. We are definitely getting a demolishing on the old, like whatever those old words, those old, because it's the third, second house, it's going to be, and for Capricorns, this is going to be for you, it's really about learning to change the way you think and speak this year to yourself, like the rules that you give yourself, those brackets you put yourself in, those are the redefinition. You have to redefine those this year. Like you're going to see them crumble. So you need to walk into that eagerly. Like forest fires aren't bad things. Okay. Beautiful things grow from a forest fire. Saturn, Jupiter in Aquarius for this astrological new year. We are definitely learning to expand and change. Really cool here is that Saturn's at 12. 12 is a really important number in general. Jupiter's at 25 exactly. No, 2519. Having these two, I know I'm kind of rambling, but having Saturn in his own sign, inspiring us to do new things, giving us that concrete feeling of sustainability in our visions. Okay, because vision comes from Jupiter. Okay, so we're getting the vision, and then later we digest it through our friends and our family and our everything, and then it becomes concrete. And that's Jupiter working with Saturn in this big space that they have together right now. Like they're not conjunct anymore. They're like very, very far apart. Even for Jupiter, like this is more than 10 degrees. So they're working the sign differently. They're not working it in combat with each other. We have the vision really coming through from that direction in Mars, the way that we're thinking differently, different words, different belief systems, you know, that's the direction, because there is a really beautiful aspect from Mars, which is ruling the chart, which is sitting in the 7th, 8th house. It's just so gorgeous. Like I can't even. Guys, our vision is going to be about transformation. Everybody is ready to use new words, new thoughts, and communicate differently, to take new directions. Everybody's willing to do that now. And there is a fluid movement that is happening because the MC, where in New York, where I am, I'm in Toronto area, but it's the same Eastern Standard Time as New York. There's going to be this mutable, fixed thing that's happening at the same time. Like we are eager to change and eager to move for finalized fixtures. Does that make sense? Like we are done with the old fixtures and it's time to put in new fixtures. Like these things will not change for like generations. That's what's happening. Neptune is making beautiful aspects to like let this fluidness and let this mutability happen. Neptune's in Pisces at 21 degrees, so he's in the mix too with Jupiter, right? And Mars they're all in the mid 20s, early 20s, and because the sun and the moon is also at 22, that all makes it work together. Like when you look at an astrology chart, any of the numbers that are working together, even if they're not like connected by a line, you have to give that credit. If there is a number that is showing up significantly over and over, like 22 or 23 or 24, or significantly like a straight like that, where there's a pattern of numbers one after another, that's important. That is not an accident, okay? That is that's a fusion of energy. So again, we have Venus working at 26, the sun and moon at 22, Neptune at 21, Jupiter at 25, Pluto at 26, and then the ascendant will be around 29, 28-ish. I'm not playing with the seconds. I don't care. It doesn't make that much of a difference to me. Because these numbers are fluid between 26 and 21. I mean, and Jupiter's involved. Anytime Jupiter's involved, we get an expansion of 10 degrees. Like anything he touches is 10 degrees wide. And then the nodes are at 11, which is another beautiful thing, and it is the 11th. Gorgeous, right? Like, there is just so much synchronicity here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4 as I say that. Okay, so let's do a little bit for each of the signs. Sagittarius. This energy is right up your alley. As you know, Mars and the nodes have been working in your 7th house and your 1st house, so you really are reinventing yourself, and you're really quick to change and be direct about what you want and who you want, and the communication you need to provide in your relationships is moving really fast and really fluidly. That will continue to happen. Expect for a new shine. There's going to be a new shine. You might have a celebration. You might have children. There is big plans coming, because this is happening with Juno in your 1st house. And Juno's the asteroid of marriage and domestic partnership, and she is making aspects to everything I talked about earlier, like Jupiter and Pluto and Neptune and Sun and Moon and Venus and Mars, who's ruling the chart. Sagittarius is a good time for you. Capricorn this year is going to be just as serious as it has been, but there's no trauma this year. If anything, you are being that like heaviness. Your value center has become super heavy. There is a lot of fluidness coming from Neptune sextile for you for this square. This square is happening in your 4th house, Capricorn. This square is happening from Pluto to the sun moon. So there is going to be big changes at home. There may be a new person coming home, a new addition to the home, demolition to the home maybe. But this is about transformation. So get excited. Aries people will be all over your house. And you may be working with some Leo people as a distant person. I know they're 8th house people for you, but they're on fire right now. Leo people are on fire right now. So you could actually learn some fire tricks from some Leo people and Sag people too. Because I know you don't work with fire very much, Capricorn, unless of course you have like a fire moon, fire ascendant. You're probably pretty stable, and fire is irritating because it moves too quickly. You can't control it, right? This fire is happening and you are in power 100%. You have Pluto in your 1st house. Well, this shit is happening in your 4th house. You're the CEO here, so you got it. Love you, Cap. Aquarius. Thank goodness this stuff is moved, eh? Like that conjunction was really heavy, like no doubt. But now that things have spread out, you really are able to digest this, in a concrete, visionary fashion, and what you wish for is what's physically happening, and you're like, it's just one thing after another. Like, wow, Aquarius, this is a big deal. Jupiter's been coming through your sign, and it's going to retrograde. Like, he's not done yet. he's not completely done yet, because he'll be retrograding in the early stars of Pisces eventually, and that will give you a lot of rewards in the pocket. So where you have been physically, and your body and your mind and your life and your identity has been restructuring and growing, it's now about to shift and to your pocketbook. So that's pretty sweet, and it's all going to be positive for a while before Saturn gets in there. You're going to be able to spend some money and have some fun before Saturn comes in and is like getting serious about that. When Saturn moves into Pisces, then you've got to work on it. You got a while. Oh, Pisces. I'm a Pisces. It's good for us. It's good for us. It's really good for us. Neptune is a generational ruler. Very familiar with Jupiter energy. Jupiter is in our 12th house, but he's coming. He's almost here. He's almost in Pisces, and once he gets in Pisces, like this is where Jupiter shines. He loves to be here. I mean, he's great in Aries as well. Don't get me wrong, but in tropical Pisces, there is a sweetness that comes and a bounty that just fills up. So Sagittarius people and Pisces people are really going to be feeling this transit in a positive way for them the most. Pisces, new in your pocketbook, new in your values, new in your titles, new in your partnerships. Like, this is destined partnership too. So I don't want to say too much, but for my readers, I'm getting married. We just decided, and it will be a very private situation, but I'm not posting too much about it. But for those who see this, yes, it's that kind of celebration for Pisces and Sagittarius energy. Moving on. Taurus. Venus is in your sign. Well, she's almost here. She's almost there. I mean, you can feel her. You can feel that richness coming through. Like, when the ruler of your sign approaches your sign, it's just good news. It's just good news. And she's going to be rocking that for quite some time. Uranus is here. Like, you've been dealing with it for about 1.5 years, 2 years now, maybe even longer. Uranus came into Taurus 2019. It's been bumpy, and no doubt, for each of you, it's been different. But for the ones for anyone who has Taurus energy in the first 5 degrees, it's definitely passed quite a bit. Like, you're okay. It got real bad, and now, you're 4 degrees away from Uranus. And yes, he's going to retrograde and stuff, but you're pretty much in the clear if you have the first degrees of Taurus energy from that really sudden, shocking energy that was coming through and just reinventing your life completely, for good or bad. Venus is here to really work that energy for you. This new moon's happening in your 12th house, so you may not really physically manifest this, but you're directing it subconsciously. Venus is in your first house, and she loves Mars. They have a great relationship, and they're already in a relationship right now. They're in what's called a semi-sextile, so the degrees between them, and they're in signs beside each other, and that way they're able to talk to each other. And that's happening right now, and it will continue to kind of happen this year. It always happens, but with Venus in her own sign, there's a lot of love and passion and drive and romance. So much romance and so much food. Oh, it's going to be delicious. For those Tauruses between 9 and 20, this is the heavy part, okay? Especially 9, 10 right now, and 8s. This is heavy. Uranus is right on top of you. Any placements here are going shocked and revolutionized. It will pass, and it's for the best. Like soldering a wound. Gemini, you're like the star here, okay? So the ruler of the chart and the ruler of the new moon is in your sign. So everybody's looking at you. You're going to be getting so much information and so much connection to people. This is really your time to learn to use your fire. Air and fire can be so tricky, okay? You have to be careful that you don't end up cutting people with your fiery tongue. I know you have a lot of opinions, and they are important, and they are good, but not necessarily a social, need. You don't need to put it on a billboard somewhere. You can, those who need to know will know, okay? You do not need to blow yourself up. Just roll with the fire. Cancer, this is an easy one for you, okay? Because this is happening in your 10th house. You may be having new work situations. You may be having, anyone who has cancers that have strong Mars, Aries rising cancers or Aries moon cancers, this is, wow, this is intense for you. You are really getting, you know, a switch of what you think you want to be or what you see yourself as. This is getting reinvented. And for this could be also your mother or father having a reinvention for young Cancer or Aries. Could be a wedding. Could be a completely new job. You could move schools. You could, whatever the titles are that you're normally proud of. That's what the really big focus is right now. That's what this big change is this year. I'm going to leave that in, just in case it's important for someone, but I live in a complex. Okay. That's a mouthful. Okay. So Cancer, you are really going to be feeling this in your work center. Okay. So like, go with that though. That's phenomenal. Like, yeah, it's all good news. If it feels like sudden loss of friends, other friends are coming. Okay. There could be something with a lot of friends. Okay, there could be a party where you're sharing things, potentially talking about doing things together, maybe collaborating. Ooh, I like that. I like that, Cancer. Okay, Leo. Leo. You love this. This is happening in your 11th house. Parties, friends, networks. This is all expanding for you. Everybody's celebrating. This is actually the benefit house. So having a new moon here, especially a new moon, new year, is really reaping the rewards karmatically from the year before, how you handled things. Very nice for you, Leo. Saturn is happening in your 7th house. This could be partnerships getting very serious. You are getting very serious about partnerships and manifestation. Jupiter is moving into your 8th house of Pisces. When that happens, there is chances of when Jupiter comes through the 8th house, there's a big growth in expansion of shared resources, which for you are always a spiritual thing. You always have to have a spiritual connection with your partners. That's the only reason you're ever going to be spiritually connected or connected to them at all, is if you're spiritually in debt with them as well as financially in debt with them. Jupiter moving here could be that you're taking out a loan or be gifted money, because this is also shared resources. It can be money from other people and gifts from other people. With this 11th house, though, it really is benefits from family and other people and connections and networks. Good job, Leo. Virgo, this is happening kind of intensely for you. So for you, Aries is your 8th house. There is a lot of debt and transformation that you're looking at right now. But it's for the best. Like, this is, Mars sits in your 10th. So this is all about your work. Okay? You may be changing jobs so that you can shift and become your own boss. I actually see that as like maybe changing neighborhoods as well. Juno is involved here in your 4th house. So there may be relationships at home. You could be moving in with a partner, sharing debt with a partner. Libra. I'm a Libra moon. Hello, fellow Libras. I love you. Venus is hanging out in Taurus, which, as you know, like she's happy in Taurus. She's not as happy as she is in your sign for you, because you guys are like 6 signs apart. But it's not a bad thing, because this new moon is happening in your 7th house of partnership. You are having a reinvention of who you identify as a partner and how you identify as a partnering person. This is a brand new life with this. Ceres is in this mix. Ceres is the goddess of domestic protection, and she is sitting behind the sun and the moon. Okay, so she's right there in there, adding her energy into this beautiful blast of brand new cycles coming through. She really is putting her imprint on it. With Venus on the other side, we have both goddesses blessing your 7th house, one for love and abundance and the other for security. It's just fantastic. Mercury is also sitting in your 7th house, giving you a new idea and perception and channel through relationships. Mars is currently working in your trining for you from the 9th house. This is beautiful. So you really feel an expansion. You may be moving a lot, or using this year to really travel to learn, like expanding your education, maybe taking courses. Now, when I say travel, I don't necessarily mean travel. I mean, if you're taking a course and you can't physically travel because of COVID or something, but you have to take a course in another language, that would be a form of mental travel. Okay, if you sit on Google and you look, different vacation spots and walk down the streets, that's travel. Okay, it's expanding your mind, whether you're actually physically able to do it or not. It's still 9th house stuff, And Scorpio. Okay, this is heavy for you, Scorpio. This is all, and you're like, what? I don't have any planets here. What the fuck? But this is all happening for you in your 6th house. This is changing how you do things. This is really playing on what it is that you find most exhilarating. When you get up in the morning and you brush your teeth and you make those patterns of taking care of yourself, getting the kids ready for school, getting yourself ready, then you do the laundry, then you go upstairs, and then you, meditate, or whatever your patterns are, that's what's getting a reinvention. Okay. Your 8th house is involved with Mars. There may be a lot of jealousy. There may be a lot of feelings of discontentment when it comes to how you feel about other people's money and other people's worth. People may be triggering you, and you may be triggering them when it comes to this. You could also be really hot-pocketed when it comes to going to an online casino or something like that. Watch your pockets for this. Yeah, but I'd say that's about it. Thank you so much for connecting with me and all of the signs. Scorpio, I know it's not the best year for you, but this really is a smaller version of a bigger deal. You know how to do big transformations. It's the small stuff that you struggle with, and that's what this year is about. So I will meet you all online, live, throughout April and May. Thank you all for your continued support, and please share and follow my page, astrobrie.com, Astro Brie Astrology on Facebook. I love you all.